year, people from our church used to go to nursing homes to visit. And I never want to go because I said, oh no, it's people like they lying down, and I don't want to go.
And so now when you think back of it, what do you imagine about those people that you saw back then?
I thought if I had gone, I had the opportunity to meet interesting people.
Yeah, we are very interesting.
Some people is out of this world, but the majority have big stories to tell.
I couldn't have put it better myself. In fact, that pretty much sums up the whole point of this podcast. No matter what a person looks or sounds like, they all pretty much have a story. And everyone at the new Jewish home on Manhattan's Upper West Side has a big story to tell, and probably more than one. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Malamy, the Director of Spiritual Care at Jewish Home, and this past year I've been delighted to hear big stories from a handful of our residents. And if you've been listening, you've heard their voices, maybe seen their faces, and learned their names. Names are a big deal. T.S. Eliot claimed that every cat has 3 different names, and Shakespeare brings up the subject too. He has Juliet question their significance, thinking of her new beloved Romeo. She says, "What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet." But if you know her story, you know she's only saying this because his name is a big problem for her, and she's trying to avoid it. Names are meaningful, and giving them is powerful. Often our parents give us our first ones. Sometimes they change or shift in our lives. Some people choose other names for themselves later on, and sometimes we gain them from friends or acquaintances, on purpose or by accident. Even the new Jewish home has had about half a dozen in its 175 years. My guest today has her own rich collection of names, and as I learned them, I came to know her better and appreciate her more deeply, and I'm sure you will too.
Let's go back a little bit. Tell me your name.
Dominga Marina Marquez Dieguez. In my country, we use 2 names and 2 last names. When I was in Guatemala, I used only Marina. Everybody know me like Marina Marquez. So when I had the stroke, they used my first name, and I had to get used to it. So all my friends from Guatemala called me Marina still. When people came to visit, sometimes couldn't find me because they were looking for Marina. And it was hard for me to get used to the first name. But now I don't care, and I use both. Here, I'm Dominga, and I'm talking to my friends, I'm Marina. I like more Marina, but I don't care.
Because I met you in this place, I think of you as Dominga. What's the story of those names?
Dominga is the name of my mother's older sister and also my godmother. And Marina is the name of my mom's best friend.
And did you know them?
My aunt, yes.
Mm-hmm.
My mom only had 2 sisters, and they were very close. But I was happy I didn't have the name of the other one. I liked less than Dominga. But we were closer to her. She was very lovely and treated us like her children. Because when we were young, my mom used to work and she will take care of us.
And the last names?
My father is Marquez and my mother is Dieguez.
So you have the maiden name and the married name? Or do I have it wrong?
No, all my maiden, I never married. My father's name and my mother's name.
Where in Guatemala did you grow up?
In Guatemala City.
And what was that like?
Well, I love it. I went to school there. I met people. Everything was perfect. I never thought of coming here. When somebody said, I'm going to the States, I said, oh, I'll never do that.
Why not?
I don't have a big career, but the story is that most people, they came here as a servant. And I said, why am I going to be a servant? When I work in an office and I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was living in Chicago, and she came to New York and found a job babysitting a boy. After a year, she married and went to Chicago. But the family started to tell my sister, do you have a sister or something that can come? And my sister said, oh, I have a sister, but she says she will never come. So try to convince her. Then my sister said, it's nice here, you will like it, and this and that, and I'll be in Chicago, you can visit. I said, no. But I have a daughter, and she wanted to go to Germany. So my sister said, your daughter is going to Germany. If you come to New York, you can communicate with her easily. But she's going there only for 1 year. I said, but come here 1 year. Then the mom of the child started to call me every day.
To encourage you?
To ask me
to
think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then my daughter says, you know, Mommy, why don't you go 1 day, try it while I stay in Germany. When I come back, you come, I keep studying, and you work here. The family, they offer me $300 a week for a babysitter in 1991. I said, no, well, $350. And you're going to live in the house. You don't have to pay for an apartment, and you don't have to travel. And the boy is very nice, and the family will help you. And I say yes, and there I come. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I will never forget. My sister was waiting with the baby. She was 21 months. She had been talking to him that Marina will come, but he couldn't say Marina. So when I get into the building, my sister said, Jordan, this is Marina. And then he sends his arm to me, say, Mimi. And he still calls me Mimi.
So he gave you another name.
Another name.
Mm-hmm.
And all the family called me Mimi too. And then we went to the house. My sister put little signs everywhere, like how the stove worked, the microwave, the washing machine. Some in Spanish, some in English. In Guatemala, we have some things, but not the same. So my sister stayed 3 days, and then she left.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid was very fond of me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because my sister and I have about the same voice, the same accent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not hard, the transition. The family was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
They used 2 sets of dishes.
Uh-huh.
And kosher was something completely strange to me. And the food was different, the climate different, and everything. And the father was a doctor in NYU, and the mother was a dentist in New Jersey.
Mm.
So Monday, the mother had to go to work, and I had to stay alone with the kid.
For the first time.
For the first time. The building has a beautiful park, and we spent all the morning there, and his friends like me, mostly because I spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
The babies liked the way I talked to them, and most of the babysitters spoke Spanish or have different accents. When I came, I have a better accent than I have today because I have some problems in my throat, in my mouth. So we get along with everybody. Then the grandma came to watch what I was doing, and she was very pleased. And the parents too. I didn't know how to cook. I would burn hot water. So the grandma taught me, and we have at their house a library like this, cooking books. When the grandma told me, we're going to do this, put this and that and that and that, I look what she did, then went to the book and followed the step with the book and remember what she told me, and everybody liked what I cooked.
Mm. What were some of the things that you learned that were popular?
On Fridays, they used to invite somebody for dinner. And I remember we made chicken marsala and potato kugel.
Yeah.
The lady was fond of salad. We made big salads.
Mm-hmm.
And mandel bread. Crunchy in the outside, but soft in the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't remember how,
Yeah.
but I made it. And they like it. And the doctor said just 2 things. It has to be healthy and edible. Everything is okay. Lunch, they didn't eat at home.
Mm-hmm.
Just the baby and me. My mom, she was a great cook, and she cooked some American food for us. So we knew them. The kid loved macaroni and cheese.
Uh-huh.
But I have no idea how to cook it.
Yeah.
So I made it with the pasta and put the yellow cheese melted in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved it. So the time went past a year, and my daughter came back from Germany. And then she said, I want to be legal in the United States. You stay here while I go to Guatemala, finish college. And it sounds good.
Uh-huh.
And my mom was there, and my daughter going to be with her. She was studying in medical school, but changed to graphic design. And then everything was okay. She was in paid college because I could afford it. And then after a year, she got pregnant and she had to marry. I get so angry. And I said, I have nothing to go back for. I better stay here because I was angry with her.
Getting pregnant had disrupted the whole plan.
Yeah, because she had to get married and make her life. So I stay here.
Did you tell her you were angry?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What happened to your relationship during that time?
It was kind of broken.
Yeah.
And on those days, phones, it was very expensive. We don't call every day like now. And then I quit sending her money. I didn't send anything. But I gave money to my brother in case she needed something.
Uh-huh. So she would be okay, and she would know you were angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And time passed. It took me 15 years to get my papers to become a resident. Then when I became a resident, I said, now just 5 more years and I'll be citizen. Then my daughter had a little girl. So every year I go visit.
So things softened?
Yeah. But then she has problems with her husband. I don't know what happened. They don't get divorced completely. So I couldn't bring them here.
Because she was still officially married?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She decided to be an English teacher. Then when I became citizen, I said, I'm going to work the time I need to get some money so I can support myself.
At some point, you must have stopped working for that family.
No.
No, you stayed working for
No.
them?
Time passed. The boy went to college. But little by little, the lady gave me more responsibility.
To run the household?
Yeah. I went to the supermarket, to the fish place to buy the fish and see what we need. I didn't have to ask her what to get. I get it. I pay with my money. They would give me money back. One day I say, well, I'm going to pay with my credit card and I get points and things like that.
Yeah.
And she was kind of sick, so she always needed extra help until I got my stroke. They put me here.
How long ago was that?
10 years.
10 years ago. What happened?
I had a stroke in the street. I don't know who picked me up and took me to the hospital in New Jersey. Because not to be completely in the house, I rented a room with a friend in New Jersey. And I went to church there. And I have my group of friends in church. So that day, I was going to have breakfast with my friend. I said, I'm going to be a little late to Mass. Never make it. And I don't know where. They found me on the street. They took me to a hospital. And fortunately, the old phones have the people you call most.
Right, your 5 most common,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the name of my friend, so they called her. And then she called all my people around. So the family was in the house in the Hamptons. And they came and went to see what's going on. I stayed 2 days in that hospital, and the doctor arranged to send me to the NYU rehab for a month. I had shingles and vertigo.
Oh, one thing on top of another.
Doctor saw me and said, this is shingles, and gave me the medicine. It was a big tablet like this, and in a week I was as good as you. I couldn't move my head because I was dizzy, but the cure was terrible. They took your head and flip it. And you feel like you're dying. But after that, it's all gone. Staying in my bed, I went to the therapist twice a day. And in this month, I was able to walk. I could talk.
In the recovery from the stroke, you were able to start walking again?
When I woke from my stroke, my left hand was paralyzed. And I didn't know what had happened. I could hardly talk.
Yeah.
I was a mess. I couldn't brush my teeth, comb my hair. And they taught me all that. So when I came here, I could walk and talk. I was able to walk to the auditorium. But then I fell. And I broke something. And after that, I was completely scared to fall. In spite of that, I started to do things. They taught me how to crochet with my left hand. And I got president of the hand-in-hand committee. and President's Council, both. I was in everything. And they were interviewing me in papers, magazines, in TV. I was everywhere. Now I'm a little more tired, and I still crochet. I am almost the same.
Yeah. You made all those figures, right? The little Yodas and the Mickey Mouse.
For the pandemic, I made 42 of these animals. We sold them and make a raffle for all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we had about $1,000 and give 5 prizes to say thank you to the staff.
Yeah. For all the hard work during the pandemic.
For exposing their life to save ours.
Yeah, that was a very intense time.
Oh, it was terrible. I got COVID 3 times. The first time was when nobody knew what to do. But the third time, I was okay. The only thing was they put the sign on my door so I don't go out.
So you didn't even feel very sick that time?
No.
Uh-huh.
The virus is still here. I always have my mask, but even with mask, you can get it.
Yeah. So it sounds like you worked for that family for about 20 years?
Yes.
Yeah. And are you still in touch with them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Jordan was the boy?
Yeah, he just got married in November, and I sent him one of my cousins, and he sent me flowers for my birthday.
Yeah.
We are always in touch.
And how is your daughter's family?
My daughter have a daughter, and the daughter married and divorced and have a boy. So I don't know my great-grandson, but we see on the camera and we talk. He's 7.
You said at the very beginning that you never got married, and you were angry at your daughter because she got pregnant and got married. So I was wondering about that.
Well, my story of not marrying is a little crazy. I had a boyfriend, and I thought we were doing well, and we have planned to marry. But he was the kind of man that had another girl. And then she got pregnant. He said he felt sorry for her and he had to marry her.
Uh-huh.
So we broke. Because I think the only thing he cared was himself. I think if we ever had married, we wouldn't last.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are different. I am like outgoing. I always want something to do something.
Yeah.
And I care for people, and he doesn't.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask you a couple of questions. What is it like to be the age that you are?
Perhaps I'm a little crazy, but I don't feel old because of my paralysis. I feel a little weakened sometimes, but I feel like I could be working still. And maybe my brain is okay because I can understand things. My grandma, when she was 60, she was an old lady. And I'm 80, and I don't.
You feel younger than she was?
Yeah. Not the number, but things that I can do.
Like what? What are the young things that you see in yourself?
Like I do more crochet and sell it.
You're an entrepreneur.
And could be a business, but I donate everything to Hand in Hand. And I can learn different things every day. Like many of people my age can use a phone. Normally, I can use it in a normal way. I can use a computer, and I'm always eager to learn more.
Yeah, I see that in you, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I don't know how other ladies feel like that, but I think unless you are very sick, you can feel like that or even better. I have my group of friends in Guatemala. They still get together, go this, go that. They take care of their grandchildren. They travel. So I think it's a generation.
So your generation just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was going to ask you before, like, oh, should we turn off the alarm on your phone? But the truth is that, it's kind of proves your point that you have all these messages coming into your phone all the time, right? Like your life is buzzing,
And my friends, my daughter, my brothers.
Yeah.
I get a message from everybody every day.
Yeah, you're very connected.
Yeah. Before, there was like 10 people a week to visit me. I have a friend who used to come every week. Then her husband got sick.
Yeah.
So he can come.
Right.
And the other friends are from a church in New Jersey. and they are getting old too.
Mm-hmm.
3 of my friends died already.
Mm.
So it happens.
Yeah.
I have family in the Bronx, in New Jersey, that used to come once in a while. Now just send me a message for my birthday or for Christmas, and that's all.
Does it hurt your feelings?
No, because I don't like to use Facebook. They connect themselves by Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
If I see something, I never publish anything, so they don't want me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So you don't do Facebook, you do other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
WhatsApp is my thing,
WhatsApp. Mm-hmm.
and emails.
Mhm.
But Facebook, I said if they go to the bathroom, they have to publish it, and sometimes
A little too much sharing.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like it.
All right, next question. What about your life today would surprise your younger self?
First, being in the United States,
Mm.
that I said I never will come, and that I have been here 30 years and did nothing. I could have maybe study or do something.
Mm.
So the time passing by.
Do you have regrets about it?
Yeah.
What would you like to have done?
Maybe in Guatemala, I would have study or make a business or something.
If you had it to do over again, would you not have come?
No.
Mm.
Indeed, I never felt like I belong here. Even in the house, there are groups of people. All the people which the group I belong died. So the new generation, I don't feel I belong in there.
Here, in this place, your circle of friends from 10 years ago,
Yeah.
most of them are gone.
Yeah.
And you haven't connected as much with the new folks.
No.
Uh-huh. So what do you do with your regrets? How do you deal with them?
I don't care.
Uh-huh.
What can I do?
Mm.
If I can do something, I do it.
You seem to do a lot.
But I know I can do more. Now I have the idea that I want to walk. I have had therapists and CNAs that encourage me to do things. So I'm exercising every day.
What has been over your life your experience with prejudice or discrimination, either that you've seen or personally?
When I went to college, I was the only woman in my class. I was 30 and I was old and woman.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't fit there. They make fun of me. They don't accept me. I got friends and we get together to study. But at the beginning, they make fun of me. Like, what are you doing here? A woman and so old. Because they were 18 years old.
Right.
And men.
But you didn't let that stop you at the time. You were just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And in the U.S. or in New York, has that ever been a factor for you?
I don't know if it's because I speak English that people accept me. I have never been rejected anywhere. In my job, all their friends were very nice to me, and everybody who addressed me and I could speak English, I had no problem.
That's what you've observed?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. When you said before you feel like you never belong, does identity and culture have to do with that, or is that something else?
No, I mean, because I never had a house of my own, nothing that really belonged to me.
Uh-huh.
I live in the house of the family. My second house was the church. So they were mostly Spanish. So I didn't make a connection with the normal people.
So it didn't feel like you were able to create roots, or your own grounding.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a little crazy. That's what I feel.
It's your life, so you get to say. So if you could then give your younger self advice, you could send a message to the past, what advice would you give?
Stay in Guatemala, go back to school.
And what should she study? That Marina, she should study what?
Law.
Law? Okay, last question. What makes a good day for you these days? What are the ingredients of a good day?
A good day. That I could attend all the activities that I like. Like I get up, I dress, and then I talk on the phone, answer all my messages. Then I go to crochet in the morning. Then there's bingo. I go to all the activities, and that's it. And watch my novelas at night.
Good stories.
Stupid, but
yeah.
You know that this one is poor and she will marry a rich man, and the family of the rich man does bad things to her, but it results that her father was rich, and the same story.
Mm-hmm. But even though you know what's going to happen, it's still enjoyable. Yeah.
And I like music. And TV, there's a channel that you can get all music. I like it while I'm crocheting.
Yeah. What kind of music?
I like, it's a listening.
Uh-huh.
All kinds of music, but not so classic, not so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it.
If I keep doing these interviews with people, do you have any suggestions?
No, I think those are personal questions that everybody had different stories.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, what was suggested is that I find someone who has a very good relationship with like a CNA and interview them both together.
I have a good connection, let's say, now with Mariama.
Mm-hmm.
She's helpful, and sometimes we talk personal things.
Yeah.
She understands how I like things and why.
Yeah.
And she's the kind of person that I think all the CNAs should be.
She's a good example.
Yeah. Sometimes I have suggested to use her to teach the new stuff.
Yeah. She has a beautiful way about her.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for all this time.
Thank you for telling me all the things that I don't tell anybody else.
I mean, I think it proves the point that everybody has so much life in them that is not easily visible on the outside. And it's so rewarding to hear a fuller version of the person.
Yeah, because there are things that hurt you in a moment, but don't hurt you anymore. I don't let things that happen will hurt me forever. Something happened, let go.
It's a good philosophy. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I've got a name.
Today's conversation reminded me again and again that we all contain multitudes, many countries and cultures, many chapters of life and relationships to go along with them, many addresses and journeys, peaks and valleys, dreams and realities. I thank my guest, Dominga, a.k.a. Marina, a.k.a. Mimi, and I'm inspired to see how she continues to change, to learn from her life, and to let go of its past pains and make room for something new. No matter how she is called, she wears the crown of a good name, and I'm honored to know more of her story.